The final review is going to be on Legacy Evolution Core Class Grimlock. Stay tuned. Rodimusbill here, and today we're doing our third Dinobot from the Transformers Legacy Evolution Core Class line. This is Grimlock. Now first we'll take a look at the package. It is a plastic-free package, and you can see Grimlock strapped in. Now, if you find this guy in the store, I would advise you to look down here for his weapon right there. And he should have the two other pieces to him in the back. And there's nothing down here, so the weapon should be on this side. It says Grimlock Legacy Evolution Hasbro. It's a Transformers logo, 8+. He's a core class figure, and there he is in robot mode. And there is the poster for Legacy Evolution. And it is Grimlock, 10 steps, 3 out of 6 Volcanicus. Here's the UPC, and there's the bottom. So, we're going to open this guy live on camera. It's the easiest way to do this. It looks like it's right here. I should have brought my... Oh, there you go. And we're going to bring Grimlock out. Alright, so first thing we see is the booklet. Let's see, Grimlock. There we go. Up this stupid thing in all different languages. Let's see, put his weapon in his hand, and that's how you transform him into the dinosaur mode. And then you have him in the combined mode. He becomes a leg. He becomes the right or left leg of Volcanicus, which is usually Grimlock's the chest and the face. But this time they're doing something different. So he's a leg, and he's an awful leg too. Very and there is the QR code. Now the last couple reviews I tried to scan the QR code and it hasn't worked. So, we're going to give up on it this time. Alright, here's Grimlock, so he should have a weapon very similar to the weapon that came with Slug. And there he is in the back, so we're just going to cut and cut. And this is a true unboxing. Alright, so you got, oh, everything's connected. So let's put that away, and we got his weapon. Very similar to Slug's weapon, his tail piece, which we'll look at in a minute. And here is Grimlock. So you got to, I guess, untab the feet for the proper way he goes, and there he is. And so it's a little gray piece. It's basically it's made to be a heel of the foot for stability. I think, I'm not sure how it goes, but we'll figure that out a lot later. And here is Grimlock. Well, right off the bat, he's got the gold chest, gray everywhere else. He's got some red there. Kind of his crotch plate's supposed to be red, but not bad. Out of all the Dinobots, I think he looks... I think they've done a good job on all of them but Sludge so far. Let's see. Take a look at the face. You got the black head, the blue eyes, the mask. He's got the Autobot symbol there. He's got a little red under the gold, which is pretty good. He's got the gold chest. He's got a lot of detail. Though they did panel a lot of detail in here. See, there's I believe this will plug into this later on to become the feet, I would guess. Let's see. Black hands. Individual fingers, like the Grimlock, the foot claws, some red down here. Basically, normal Grimlock backpack with the... I think they want you to do this somehow, but that looks kind of... just put them up that way. They look a lot better because you got the little dino hands, and there's the Grimlock face. So that is normal. Here you see a 5mm peg right there. I guess that might be for combined mode. And there's Grimlock. Now, for the face, his face is on a swivel, so it does 360 degrees. Let's see, his arm does 360 degrees. No elbow joint, which was kind of disappointment, but it goes out because you'll see later on, you can still have that elbow and still have stability. Let's see, kicks that far up, kicks that far out, does the split. The knee is more than 90 degrees, probably due to transformation. And he's got a waist swivel, which you don't need it, but it's nice they have it. And the feet don't move at all due to stability. And let's see. And you can put the gun, I guess his little weapon right here. And like there. And we'll also check now to see if this is blast effect compatible. So, and we'll just try this one. Yes, oops. Yes, he is blast effect compatible. We'll try this one, and these are from my old Battle Masters. Let's try this one again. That one's too big, but he does fit some of them, the smaller ones. Oh, and his wrist turn too. I forgot about that. Wish the elbows would move though. I mean, the elbows move on Optimus, on every other core class figure we've got. Like Optimus, Hot Rod, Iguanus, Bombers, you'll see them soon. They all have an elbow joint. But this guy, even though he's a combiner, for some reason, they forgot to put it in or didn't want to. But other than that, that is Grimlock in a nutshell. So he doesn't look bad. Definitely got the G1 aesthetic. But we're going to figure him out. Now, what we're going to do now is some comparisons. First comparison is we're going to bring in our Sludge and our Slug of the core class Dinobots. So that's 1 through 3. Now, Slug and Grimlock pretty good, but Sludge, with these little legs, you think they could have done a lot better. But that is how our Dinobots are looking so far. And we got Optimus Prime with a Grimlock with Optimus Prime. So I think these guys scale real good too. Let's get a little closer. We'll scale Grimlock core class with Hot Rod, leader of the Autobots. And then we're going to bring in our Pretender. There is Iguanus. And we're just going to bring in, these are just some core class monster type figures. And there's Bomb Burst. Now what we're going to do is go through the ages. Alright, so first we're going to, I don't have a G1 Grimlock, but this is like a, not a Generations Grimlock, but it's a 2-pack that came with an Optimus Prime from the movies. So that is these two, and it, of course, you got the gold. Basically, you've got the same, the gold vest, the gold chest, the red by the crotch, and the big legs of the arms. So that is the, I'm going to call them Generations Grimlock. And this is the Authentics, like a Dollar General type deal, geared more toward the kids. But, of course, as you could see, the similarities. And next, we're going to have the Power of the Primes Grimlock. Now, this Grimlock is also a combiner, and he becomes the face and the chest of Volcanicus. So they went completely different route. Instead of Grimlock being the chest and the face, Grimlock is in a leg. And then we're going to move on to the Cyberverse Grimlock. These aren't too bad neither. This Grimlock was actually smart. Completely different transformation and all, but they kept the gold, the red, and the arms, but everything else, I mean the tail, this guy is completely different figure. And then you've got the gold standard. Here is your Studio Series Grimlock. Studio Series 86. So I think we're going to bring in the Grimlock family. I'm going to bring in all our Grimlocks. I might have one or two more, but I don't think I do. I think these are all my Grimlocks. and that is the Grimlock family. So one thing is common, the gold chest and the big arms, and that's about it. Everything else is, I mean, this guy's got a wild transformation. This guy's different, and all of these guys share the similar thing where this is the back of the thing, the head flips up, and very similar. But that is all my Grimlocks. Now we're gonna transform him into Dinobot mode, and then we'll do combine mode. All right, so let's get this guy started. Now, he's pretty easy to transform. First, you want to take the legs, and we're just gonna rotate them like that. Then what we're gonna do is come back here, pull this whole thing up like that, and then we're gonna cover up his head, very Grimlocky. And then you got 2 tabs into 2 slots, like that. So pull the legs forward like you would normal Grimlock, and then you push the legs together as always. Now you got this little tab right here that you create is going to go into this hole right here, I believe. So let's bend them. So you got to, let's see, bend them at the knees like that. And then, oh, let's bend it like that. This is the first time I'm doing it. I figured I'll learn when you guys learn. And then this will up, and you got to take the little, port, and we're just gonna rotate the port up, and that fills that slot. And then these, that little tab's gonna fit right in there. See, I want to do this there we go. I want to do this live, my first time. I just read the directions real quick. And then you put the tail. You've got, I guess, let's see. Yep. These 2, they're kind of ports right there. They're half circles, one there, one there. You just put that there, and that's his tail. And then he just stands up like that. And that is Grimlock. Now, except for this big, huge feet right there, he'd be a pretty good Grimlock. I mean, there's the face, the chest drops, so the arms go ahead. There's the face. Now, he does look like he's got 2 tumors on his neck. Notice how these aren't symmetrical. You've got a gap in that. But all in all, not a very bad Grimlock. Reminds me of the Power of the Primes Grimlock, which we'll showcase in a minute, because he also had a big back like that too. But let's look at him. Let's see. There's the blue eyes, the mouth. Now, unfortunately, the mouth doesn't open, but the head does move up and down. These arms are static. Would have been nice to have movable plastic arms, and of course, these are his arms, so that's how these move. And then you have the big tail on the back. Now, let's see. Let's bring in Slug's. You can't, Slug doesn't have, so you can't use Slug's tail. So you can use this tail like that. Reminds me of the Power of the Primes, how they came with weapons that transformed into the feet and arms. But not a bad Grimlock. I mean, not the worst. Definitely not the best. But I think so far, I think Slug is number 1. Grimlock would be number 2. And Sludge is number 3. Oh, there we go. Now let's do some Dinobot comparisons. Okay, now for some vehicle comparisons, or alt mode comparisons. First, we're going to bring in Slug and Sludge. Now, that is how our 3 Dinobots are shaping up. And they're not that bad. Sludge is, so far, Sludge is the only one that looks really bad. Slug has a good vehicle mode, a good dinosaur mode, and a good robot mode. Sludge is worse in both modes, and Grimlock ain't too bad. But once you get all 6 of the Dinobots, I think it's going to look really, really good. And we'll compare him with Optimus Prime. So that's pretty cool. And then we got some Bomb Burst, another core class figure. Let's see, Iguanus. Just because these are all my beasts. Well, this guy never stands up. And we got Hot Rod. Okay, now for all the dinosaur comparisons. This is what I'm going to call the Generations Grimlock. He was also, I believe, a recolor of the War for Cybertron game. Like I said, it came in a 2-pack with a movie Optimus Prime. So that was pretty cool. This is the Authentics from the dollar store, Dollar General. You know, pretty basic, but what can you say? Everything's right. Grimlock mostly transforms the same way. Move the chest down, put these up. So he's like Optimus Prime. Mostly he's the same way, but it's the details that matter. This is the Cyberverse. I don't have his crown on. It's in the other room. But, I mean, this guy, here's 2 of his legs. So he's a radical departure from the typical Grimlock. But, as you can see, and he's more of a robotic dinosaur. But that is these 2. Now, Power of the Primes, and also a Grimlock that suffers from being a combiner. I mean, I think he's got too wide of a stance and his tail. They just can't seem to get Grimlock right as a combiner. But, still, it was pretty cool that Grimlock was a combiner. And then here is the new Standard Bear. Studio Series 86. So, what is similar? The feet always fold up and go in the back, but this guy's feet sticks to out. There's no gold on the neck. Well, there's a little gold on the neck right there. But, I mean, all in all, I mean, at a glance, yes, you can tell this is a Grimlock. Even the golden feet are painted. But it is what it is. Hey, it's a core class figure. It's pretty cool. It's a combiner and a core class figure. So if you don't got $50 to spend on that, you fork down $9.99 at Target, and you get this. Okay, so now we're going to transform this into lake mode. So what you want to do is take the feet and point them out. And then you're going to move these forward. They're on a hinge right there. And they're going to tab in there and here. So you got a tab, tab, slot, slot. So you put these together. And then you've got this tab will go right there. So you lock the legs in. Now see, easily you could have had the elbows move, a joint on the elbows because they lock in. And then what you want to do is you want to split this apart and then go down. Now Grimlock's head's going to go around this little gap right there. Okay, make sure this is up. And then this one just stays down like that. This one, what you do is you bring this up like this. You rotate it, and what's going to happen is you're going to get this tab is going to fill that little slot right there. So it soft tabs into there, and the other arm just stays in that position. And so you have a very asymmetrical Grimlock foot. Oh, and then this, I mean, look how wide the foot is right there. So this, you tab this in here, and it becomes more of a heel. But, I mean, look how big it is now. It doesn't need to be a heel. And this, you put this here so the 2 doesn't touch when, you know, the other leg, I guess the other leg's going to have something similar. The other leg is Snarl, which no one has seen before. And then you bring in the rest of Volcanicus. Now you've got a 5mm slot here. So you just want to push this in here. And look at this. He actually stands on his own with one leg. Now I tried to fit this on. I've seen other people do that, but at the minute I can't figure out how they do it. So that is Volcanicus. Now it is a big foot. I mean, look at this massive leg from the side. He's big enough to hold him up, really. He can hold the whole figure up. You see, that's why I said this little piece at the back, it means nothing. You really don't need the stability because this guy is big. Yeah, let me figure out how to do this real quick. The video, what I seen, he uses crash bar. I don't have crash bar. All I have is scrap hook. So I'm really not sure how to get the extra height. But I digress. Let's see. Well. That is Volcanicus. Now, for some size comparisons, here is the deluxe size Hot Rod. Even though he's a Voyager, he was sold at the deluxe price because it came with a lot of accessories and his complexity. And then what you have is a Rodimus Prime. Again, he's a commander class, but he's the size of a leader class with a lot of accessories. So there you have the difference. So Volcanicus is between a normal deluxe and a normal leader size. So, and it is weird how Grimlock is a leg. I mean, look at that leg. I mean, there's his head. He's just, I don't know. But I mean, the core is pretty cool. I mean, these peg in, this pegs in, this holds it together. So he's pegged in tight. I mean, he's not going to fall apart. Look at that. This is not going to be like the Power of the Primes. And if you want to keep this symmetrical, you can fold this over here. And then you could probably even, can you put them together? Yeah, or you can even put them together. But, you know, the directions tell you to do them symmetrical. So, because this doesn't have the cutout right there. So you're supposed to keep this one down. There we go. And this one goes like that. So, now it's going to be interesting. There's never been a snarl. We've seen Swoop and Scar as the arms. And the promotion will have two Grimlocks as feet, and Swoop is this arm, and Snarl or Scar is this arm. And of course, since they're 5mm pegs, you can always switch legs. That's how you can have two Grimlocks. But I see though it's off-centered, so I guess he's made for the left leg, right? If you're looking at it, left if you're standing with it. So that is our Grimlock core class. And as always, I transform them back. So, a little about my channel if you don't know. I always start as they are packaged. This guy was packaged robot mode, so I did robot mode first. If he was packaged in dinosaur mode, I would start dinosaur mode first. Reviewers that don't show you that are doing you a disservice, because usually it's a lot easier to go from alt mode to robot mode than robot mode to alt mode. This guy doesn't have that problem because he's very basic. So what you want to do is get that little tab out of that slot, and then you just want to fold that over the peg, okay, and then take the whole head and move this up, and then you could untab the feet, bring the feet down, and then the arms, you got to untab the arms, swing them around, separate the feet, and you can fold this over and fold the peg over like that. And now Grimlock, and they tell you to do this. Depends on what kind of effect you want for Grimlock. If you want him to have the wings show, then you could fold them up like this, which ain't bad. I like that. But if you do it this way, he's got a way wide profile. So you can always find a happy medium Let's see, can you rotate this? There you go. That's a happy medium. But they're just on ball joints. Let's get it back to where, like this. And then the gun, even though the gun looks, this is what I was going to show you before. This is Slag's gun. So they kind of look similar. I guess they don't. They got the same shape, maybe. Yeah, they look similar. And then, you know, he uses his gun like that, too. But it makes a heel, which you don't really need a heel. Because it's Grimlock so wide that you don't really need it. But, alright, that's my review for Grimlock. Now, I believe Swoop is going to be next. And then we're going to get Scar, the Ankylosaurus, and then we'll finish it off with Snarl. And I haven't seen any promotional pictures of Snarl at all. So, that is our core class Grimlock. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those notifications when we do videos. Not only do Transformers, I do Funko Pops, I do DC characters, Marvel characters, new toy sightings, first reaction on movies. We've done Lego in the past. We've done a whole bunch of stuff. So check out the channel. There's over 1,000 videos. Just go to the playlist and see what we have. And as always, me Grimlock no bozo. Me Grimlock king. Rodimusbill out.